Welcome back. For 10 days now, we have been working on the very foundation of focus, on our mental strength and our discipline. We've learned to silence the distractions around us, to stand firm in the face of challenge, and to get back up every time we fall. We've become the ship, strong and seaworthy, capable of weathering any storm. But today we must ask ourselves a new and perhaps more important question. Where is this ship headed? Without a destination, a strong ship is merely a vessel that drifts and all its power is wasted. Today we begin to chart our course. Today is all about clarity of purpose. This is the one essential element that transforms a life of constant motion into a life of meaningful direction. Think of all the times you've been busy, truly, genuinely busy, but at the end of the day, you felt exhausted, not fulfilled. That feeling comes from a lack of purpose. It's the feeling of running on a treadmill, expending massive energy, but ending up right where you started. To have purpose is to know your why. It's the reason you get out of bed in the morning and the reason you choose to stay focused when every impulse tells you to scatter your attention. A clear purpose is the ultimate filter, allowing you to say yes to the things that matter and to let go of the thousands of things that don't. It is the compass that guides you through the fog of daily life. Its needle unwavering, always pointing towards your true north. Finding that purpose isn't about some grand monumental discovery. It's an act of quiet, steady reflection. It's asking yourself what truly energizes you. What problems in the world do you feel a calling to help solve? And what kind of person do you want to become? It's often found in the overlap of what you're good at, what you love, and what the world needs. It's the moment the scattered pieces of your life begin to come together to form a clear and beautiful picture. And once that picture starts to emerge, everything changes. The mundane tasks, the difficult conversations, the long hours, they don't disappear, but their meaning is transformed. They are no longer just chores. They become bricks in the foundation of the vision you are building. This clarity of purpose is what allows you to sustain your focus, not for a day, but for a lifetime. When you face an obstacle, your purpose becomes the lighthouse on a rocky coast, the constant beam of light guiding you through the storm. It's what keeps you moving forward when the motivation fades and the road gets tough, because your why is more powerful than any fleeting feeling of laziness or distraction. It is the fuel for unstoppable focus. For the rest of today, your challenge is simple but profound. Find a quiet moment, step away from the noise, and begin to define your purpose. Write it down, speak it out loud. What are you truly working for? What is your guiding vision? Once you know the answer to that, your journey of focus will truly begin. And this is where many people stop. They mistake a single goal for a true purpose. They might say, my purpose is to get a promotion, or my purpose is to buy a new car. But a goal is a one-time event, a destination on a map, while a purpose is the reason for the entire journey. You can reach a goal and then feel lost again because the intrinsic motivation that comes from your core, why, was never truly engaged. A goal is what you get, but a purpose is what you become. It's the person you evolve into as you relentlessly pursue that vision. So how do you uncover this deeper sense of purpose? It's not something you can Google or find in a book. It's an excavation, a quiet digging within yourself. Take out a notebook and find a pen you like. And for just 10 minutes, let your mind wander. Write down what you do when no one is watching. What conversations leave you feeling energized and alive? What problems do you feel compelled to talk about with friends? The answers to these questions are not random. They are breadcrumbs leading you towards your purpose. They are the signs of your unique energy and the blueprint of what you are meant to build. This process of self-discovery, this slow and deliberate act of defining your purpose, is the most powerful tool for mental clarity you will ever wield. Think of your mind as a cluttered room. Each worry, each distraction, each piece of mental junk food is another object you must navigate around. Purpose is the ultimate Marie Kondo of the soul. It forces you to look at every single one of those objects and ask, does this serve my purpose? If the answer is no, you let it go. You simplify, you declutter, and what's left is a clear, open space, a room where you can move with freedom and intention. A mind that is no longer a battleground of competing interests, but a calm and focused command center. This is the beauty of finding your why. It doesn't just improve your focus, it improves your peace of mind. It removes the stress of having to choose between 1,000 different possibilities because your purpose has already made the choice for you. When you know your North Star, every difficult decision becomes remarkably simple. It's not about what you could do, but about what you must do. It is the quiet knowing that cuts through all the noise. And this is a feeling that is worth all the work we've done and all the work that is yet to come. The goal is no longer just to become focused, but to become an unstoppable force of nature, guided by a clear and unwavering purpose. And it all begins today with a quiet pen and an honest heart. But purpose is not a shield against the world's resistance. It is not an easy road. In fact, a life of purpose will demand more of you than a life of drift. It will test your resilience, your commitment, and your patience. But here's the crucial difference. A life without purpose collapses under the weight of external pressures, while a life of purpose, when faced with the same pressure, bends but does not break. Think of a blacksmith at the forge. The metal is heated, pounded, and shaped. The purpose of the process is not to destroy the metal, but to turn it into something stronger, more defined. Your challenges, when viewed through the lens of purpose, become the very tools of your transformation. They are the fire and the hammer that shape you into the person you are meant to be. The journey of purpose is also a journey of letting go. We are often weighed down by the expectations of others, the old definitions of who we were, and the fears of who we might become. To fully embrace your purpose, you must be willing to shed these layers. You must be willing to fail, to be misunderstood, to be alone in your conviction, because your purpose is your own. It is a unique gift only you can bring to the world, and it is in that unique and often solitary space that true work gets done. It is in that space where the external rewards of money or recognition become secondary to the internal satisfaction of building something that matters. You will find that when your purpose is genuine, the universe conspires to help you, not because you are special, but because you are no longer fighting against the very current of your own energy. And this purpose, it is not a fixed, unchanging monument. It is a river constantly flowing and evolving. The purpose you discover today may be a tributary that leads to a much larger river tomorrow. As you grow, as you learn, and as the world around you changes, your purpose will deepen and expand. It is a living, breathing thing that grows with you. The mistake is not in having a purpose that changes, but in having no purpose at all. So do not fear a change of heart. Do not worry about being wrong. The very act of seeking and defining your purpose is the muscle you are building. It is the spiritual discipline that will serve you for a lifetime. So let's take the final powerful step today. Beyond just writing your purpose down, let's begin to live it. Even in the smallest ways, choose one small action today that aligns with your newfound purpose. Let it be a simple and deliberate act that says, I am no longer drifting. I am now building. When you go to sleep tonight, you will not be just a day older. You will be one day closer to your true self. The river has found its current, and it is now ready to flow into the great ocean ahead. The journey has only just begun. The power of systems and daily habits. Now let's talk about the practical side of this. Your purpose is the why, but the real work happens in the how. The how is your system. Goals are for planning, but systems are for doing. A goal is a destination, like I want to write a book. A system is the process that gets you there, like I will write 500 words every morning at 7 a.m. This is where our training over the last 10 days becomes invaluable. You already have the tools of discipline and focus. Now your task is to connect those tools to your purpose by building consistent, repeatable systems. Don't try to change your entire life overnight. Instead, find one small habit that moves you forward and do it every single day. That one small habit done consistently will compound over time into something powerful and unstoppable. This requires another kind of honesty, the honesty to admit that your day-to-day actions matter more than your grand visionary statements. We are all what we repeatedly do. So if your purpose is to build something great, then your system must be the daily act of creation. If your purpose is to help others, then your system must be the daily act of service. It's the small, boring, and often invisible work that no one applauds that truly builds the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Let's make this even more concrete. A powerful system is built on small, almost laughably simple actions. Think of the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. If your purpose is to improve your health, the system isn't go to the gym for 2 hours. It's put on your running shoes as soon as you get home from work. The simple act of putting on the shoes makes the next step, going for a run, much easier. Each small aligned action is like a single domino being set up. They are not impressive on their own, but when you set up enough of them, the entire chain reaction becomes unstoppable. This is the art of habit stacking, linking a new habit to an existing one. After you brush your teeth, you immediately meditate for 1 minute. After you make your morning coffee, you immediately write your one most important task for the day. These tiny linked actions become a seamless part of your life, a subconscious ritual that moves you ever closer to your purpose. Navigating setbacks and the importance of community. And what about the moments of doubt? The days when you question everything, they will come. You will face a setback and a voice in your head will whisper, "This is too hard. Your purpose is a fantasy. It's not worth it." In those moments, do not fight the doubt. Do not try to argue with the voice. Simply return to your purpose. Don't think of the overwhelming final goal, but remember the why. Remember the feeling of fulfillment, the problems you are trying to solve, and the person you are trying to become. That is the anchor that will hold you steady in the storm of self-doubt. You've already built the discipline to stay on course. Now your purpose is the rudder that keeps you pointed in the right direction. When your system inevitably breaks, and it will, the most important rule is to never miss twice. A single missed day is an anomaly. A single day's mistake has no power over a lifetime of purpose. But a second missed day turns an anomaly into a habit. If you miss your morning writing session, that's okay. Forgive yourself. But tomorrow morning, no matter what, you get back to it. That's the difference between a minor detour and a complete loss of momentum. It's the difference between a river that briefly floods its banks and one that changes its course forever. Your resilience is not measured by never failing, but by how quickly you recover from the inevitable fall. Finally, remember that this journey, while deeply personal, is not meant to be a solitary one. We are interconnected, and our purpose is often amplified when we share it with others. Seek out people who are on a similar path. Find a community that understands your why and can support your how. The collective energy of a group with a shared purpose is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It's a fire that you can all stoke together, keeping it from flickering out on cold, dark nights. Sharing your purpose doesn't make it any less yours. It makes it stronger. It allows others to see your light and to help you shine even brighter. This community can be a small group of friends who share a goal, an online forum dedicated to a specific craft, or a single accountability partner. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to be willing to walk the road with you. The simple act of checking in with someone else who is also working on their purpose can provide the motivation you need on a tough day. And in turn, your own progress will serve as a beacon for them. This is the true power of shared purpose. It's not just about what you build, it's about building each other up as you go. Purpose as a practice, not a destination. So we've talked about what purpose is and how to build the systems to support it. But there's a final critical piece of the puzzle. Purpose is not a destination. It's a practice. It's not a mountain you climb and then stop. It's the very act of climbing. Every single day, the person you are today and the person you are becoming are in constant motion. And the purpose you hold, the reason you get out of bed in the morning, is the engine of that motion. The true reward isn't what you get at the end, but the person you become along the way. Your purpose is the blueprint for your character, and every focused action is a brushstroke on the masterpiece of your life. This means you must learn to live in the present moment. It's a paradox, isn't it? We talk so much about a future vision, a long-term purpose, but the only place you can ever truly act is here now. All of our discipline, all of our hard work comes down to a single moment. The moment you choose to stay focused instead of getting distracted. That is the moment where purpose meets reality. The great purpose-driven lives are not built in a single day of monumental effort. They are built in thousands of tiny focused moments, strung together like pearls on a string. Your purpose gives meaning to the simple, almost invisible moments of your day. It gives you a reason to be present, to give your full attention to the task at hand, knowing that it is part of a much larger, more meaningful whole. So when you sit down to work, or when you are having a conversation, or when you are simply walking, remember to ask yourself, what is my purpose in this very moment? It might be to listen completely to the person speaking, to give your full creative energy to the task on your screen, or to simply be grateful for the feeling of the sun on your face. This is where the power of purpose becomes palpable. It transforms the mundane into the meaningful. And this leads us to the final element, purpose and gratitude. It's easy to get lost in the pursuit of something bigger, to forget what we already have. But a life of purpose, lived with genuine gratitude, is truly unstoppable. When you are grateful for the small steps you've taken, for the tools you have, and for the simple act of being able to work towards something you believe in, your fuel never runs out. Gratitude is the ultimate renewable energy source for a focused life. It keeps you humble, grounded, and deeply appreciative of the journey, even when the path is difficult. And yet, with all this talk of relentless forward motion, there is one more truth we must face head on. The journey is not a straight line. It is a messy, winding, and often frustrating path. In our culture, we glorify success and demonize failure. But to truly live a purpose-driven life, we must redefine what failure means. A setback is not the opposite of success. It is a fundamental part of the process. Think of a scientist in a lab. Each failed experiment is not a step backward, but a data point, an elimination of one more wrong answer. It is information. Failure, when viewed through the lens of purpose, is simply feedback. It's the universe telling you that path is closed. Now let's try another one. This is why your resilience is so important. Your purpose gives you the why to get back up, and your discipline gives you the how. But the greatest lesson is learning to extract the wisdom from the fall. What did you learn? What assumptions were wrong? What new path has now revealed itself? The truly focused person is not the one who never fails, but the one who fails faster, learns more, and adjusts their course with grace and speed. They see the detour not as a loss of time, but as a gain of knowledge. They know that every path not taken in a life of purpose is a lesson learned, and every mistake is a brick that can be used to build a stronger foundation. And this brings us to the most overlooked and vital component of a sustainable, purpose-driven life: rest. We are not machines. Our minds and bodies require intentional periods of downtime to process, recover, and create. In a world that glorifies constant hustle, rest is often seen as a sign of laziness. But true strategic rest is one of the most productive things you can do. It's during periods of rest that your brain consolidates memories, forges new neural connections, and allows for the creative breakthroughs that are impossible when you're constantly on. This is not just about sleeping more. It's about building a rhythm of rest into your daily system. This includes both passive and active forms of recovery. Passive rest is pure downtime, meditation, a quiet walk in nature, or simply sitting without a screen. Active rest is engaging in an activity that recharges you without draining you, like a hobby completely unrelated to your purpose or a meaningful conversation with a friend. These moments are not luxuries. They are non-negotiable parts of the journey. To neglect them is to ask your car to run a cross-country race without ever stopping for gas. You may get a little further on an empty tank, but eventually you will break down. Your purpose is the destination, your systems are the vehicle, and your rest is the fuel. Without fuel, the vehicle goes nowhere, and without the wisdom of failure, the map is incomplete. So today, as you define your purpose and set your systems in motion, remember to also plan for your recovery. Give yourself permission to fail, to learn, and to rest. When you embrace this complete picture, the fire of purpose, the structure of systems, the wisdom of failure, and the grace of rest, you will become an unstoppable force of nature. A force that does not just work hard, but works with an intelligence and a rhythm that is a reflection of life itself. The journey has only just begun.